your girl Lisa Patz in the building. Today we do have a blush video. So I spoke about this video in my first ever video that I posted on YouTube about blush placement and highlighter placement and what that looks like. Before we start, I want to make something clear. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't ever want anybody to think I'm telling them this is the right way and this is the wrong way. I just want to give you information on what you can do and how you can use things so that you can decide for yourself what works best for you. Makeup is to be experimented with. It's not, there's no right or wrong way to do things. So just please bear that in mind when I'm talking about what to and what not to do, because it's just more like recommendations. I feel like I look so weird without blush and highlighter. Like for me, they are key elements to my makeup routine. And I feel like they give me so much life. Like right now, I feel like I look very flat. Even though I've contoured, highlighted, all of that, I've literally just left the blush. That's gonna be this video today. Let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the purpose of blush. Now, for so many years, I have been told, much like many other black girls, that blush is not for black girls. It doesn't make sense. Because naturally we do not blush. We don't, like my cheeks never change colour naturally when I'm embarrassed or if I'm excited or really hot. Whereas for light skin tones, they end up, you know, getting like the pink coming through on their cheeks, and that's like the whole idea of what blush is anyway. But I feel like that is a mad myth. You can use it to add colour, you can add more depth to your face, and also add dimension and warmth to your face, depending on what colour you go for and where you place it. With blush as well, it gives you a really nice like healthy glow. Even if you're wearing a full face of makeup, you can still look like you're glowing from within, or look somewhat natural with a natural flush or a natural glow, which is 9 times out of 10 coming from the blush. Sometimes it's highlighter, but mainly it is the blush actually that's doing a lot of that natural warm glow that you're seeing on a lot of these people online. In all honesty, it is probably the easiest part of your makeup, and I think it makes a massive difference, but very subtly. So the next thing I want to talk about is pigment. All of your products have some kind of pigment in them, whether they're very strongly pigmented or weakly pigmented, depends on the product and depends on the brand as well. With blush, you get different pigment depending on what texture it has. So if it's a cream blush, a powder blush, a liquid blush, or a liquid or a tint. Liquid and tint is kind of somewhat interchangeable with blush depending on what brand you're going to, but you kind of get it in those formats, and with those formats will depend on what pigment you get. So with the cream blush, 9 times out of 10, cream blush has got quite a bit of pigment that you can blend out and really blur into your skin and just melt into your face. For powder blush, it really depends on what one you have, but I personally feel like you have the most control with powder blush. I feel like you have the most control with powder blush in terms of how much you're putting on, seeing the results of what you're putting on as well as you're doing it. Whereas with the cream, you know, you have to kind of put it on and then blend it out. But with the powder, you're adding it slowly and seeing the effects of it as it happens. And then lastly, liquid / stain. Personally, I think this is the most unpredictable. However, if you have used it for a long time and if you know how your liquid or tint blush works, then you will know how to use it and how to maneuver it. But I think that liquid and tints are the most unpredictable, but again, they give a really lovely, beautiful skin-like finish. So if that's the goal that you're going for with your blush, then I would definitely look at some liquid or tinted blushes. Why did I say it like that? Anyways, I'm not wearing earrings. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's not okay. I just realised I'm not wearing earrings and that cannot run. Oh, also, like, what do you guys think about this? My sister saw, I can't remember who, but she saw someone doing it, putting your hoop in your second piercing and then putting your like stud in your first. I think it's so cute and like something really subtle that probably not a lot of people even noticed, I'm sure. Yeah, I think I might do a video of my tattoos and piercings one day, because I do have quite a few. Another element of pigment for blushes is the texture of the blush in terms of what finish it gives off. So you have like a glittery shimmer in the blush, which can make you look very glowy. The only thing with that is that if you have texture on your cheeks, then it will highlight the texture and make it stand out more. So just be aware that if you are interested in like a glittery, shimmery blush, that is something that you might want to think about. We also have matte blushes, which are amazing for smoothing your skin and making your skin look very soft and like diffused, I think. And then we have satin blushes, which are kind of like a meet in the middle. They can look very natural, but you can also build them up and make your skin look quite smooth with them as well. So it just, again, really depends on what finish you want. Okay, that's the whole point of this, is that I'm giving you the option so that you can decide how you want to use each blush and what you want to use it for. Something else that we need to think about is the shade that you're using, the undertone, and I guess the depth of the product. In terms of shades, I personally don't think there's a limit on what shade you can use. I've seen people use purple blushes, I've seen people use pinky blushes, I've seen people use peachy blushes. Any colour, I think you can use it, but it does depend on what look you're going for. Today, the blush that I'm going to use in a minute is going to be like a warm orangey blush, because I think it will look good with my eyes and my lips. A very monotone look in terms of having them all in the same undertone or the same colour family. But if I wanted to, I could very easily put a pink blush on and I think it would still look good. Undertones, you can have your peachy undertone or your pinky undertone, a slightly more cool blush or slightly more warm blush will really give you lots of different effects and lots of different ways to use your blush. And again, along with that is the depth. So if you want a deep pink or if you want a soft light pink, that will really change the way you look. A lighter blush would make you look a bit more like awake and bright, but a darker blush would give you a lot of depth and intensity. So it really depends on what your goal is. And lastly, we're going to talk about placement. So for blush placement, a lot of people recommend blush placement depending on your face shape. I don't know about how I feel about that anymore, because I feel like, I personally think I have somewhat of like a oval heart shaped face where my chin is quite prominent, but I still have like somewhat of a longer oval shape. Like my cheekbones aren't that prominent, and a heart-shaped face usually has really prominent cheekbones, a wide forehead, and then a pointed chin. Whereas for me, I think I don't have those cheekbones as much, so my face is in between the two shapes. So when I was looking at blushes for different face shapes, I was getting really confused because everybody's telling me something different, you know? I think it depends on what shape you want your face to look like rather than what shape you already have. If you want to make your cheeks stand out, especially when you smile, and make your cheeks look slightly bigger and bring more attention to them, I would put it straight on the front of your face right here. It brings a lot of attention to that point on your face if that's what you want, and it will make your face look a bit more round. You can also just apply blush to your cheekbone, so like the top of your cheekbone, it will lift your cheekbones and make them more prominent and possibly give you that kind of high cheekbone look. You can also apply it on your nose or on your chin, which a lot of the time does make you look somewhat younger. You could just put blush all over your face if you really wanted to. Again, as I said at the beginning, there's no rules here. You can do whatever you want with your blush. It just depends on what goal you have at the end for what you want your face to look like. Another thing we need to discuss is the brush, or the tool that you use to apply your blush. With brushes, there's different sizes, different densities, and different shapes. A lot of people, to start off with, I think it's great to use something like this, where it's angled and you can kind of place it along your face and achieve all of the different types of placement that I was talking about with just one brush. Or you can have something that's a bit bigger and more similar to like a bronzer brush. That will allow you to buff it on and kind of place it on a bigger area. That way you'll look more youthful and glowy. These are the brushes that I like to use. They are all kind of like a medium size and quite fluffy. So when I run my finger through it, they kind of have a lot of movement compared to like a foundation brush. It doesn't move as much, you see. I'm now gonna apply my blush because I feel like I look weird, like I feel very weird right now. The brush that I'm gonna use is a Sigma F10. It kind of looks like, you know, when people like draw makeup brushes, this is what they usually draw. That's the kind of shape that it is, like slightly tapered. It does have quite a bit of movement to it. And the last category that we have to talk about is the products. For the blush that I'm actually gonna use, this is the fun bit. One thing I would say is if you're starting out with blush, definitely get a blush palette. I got this one from Revolution. I think it was like £8, and you just get so many options that you can play with. You get the depth, you get the soft colors, you get the shimmers, you get the satin, the matte. You can try it all out and you don't have to spend like £20 on one blush. However, once you advance and continue on in your makeup journey, you will find yourself spending £20 on a blush and you'll be thinking, huh, why am I spending £20 on a blush? But then you put it on and you realize that it's worth it. But anyway. So right now it's a toss up between sleek blush in, this is Sahara. So it's like a really nice muted, soft, orangey, neutral. It's just basically the color that I'm looking for. But I also have this brush. Now, don't mind this because this is like broken. But yeah, it's a toss up between these two. I think I'm gonna go for this first, and then if I want to add more, then I can use the more intense orange. With blush as well, you can layer it. You can, again, you can do whatever you want. And I think that blush looks absolutely beautiful when you do layer it. I like to like wiggle it on my cheek because my goal is to lift my cheekbones. I'm gonna start at the back and just like tap it on. I'm just gonna move in a little bit just so you guys can see what's happening. But I keep it quite high, and I like to tap my blush on, partially because I feel like it helps it to be a bit more intense, but also because I feel like it distributes it better. I really like to put blush over my whole face. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I like to keep this area really bright and then bring it over my whole face. Now I hope that you can see a difference. How it's just like warmed up my skin a little bit and just given like that little bit of extra glow. These blushes are not super pigmented, so it's just a case of applying it until you like it. But again, bearing in mind this color is very close to my skin, so it's not gonna look too crazy. I'm gonna go in with the oranges, the pumpkin, I think it's called pumpkin pie. I'm gonna go in with that as well, just because I wanna intensify it, and I focus the majority of my blush at the top of my cheek. Whee! There you go, we're getting somewhere now. I can't lie, I do really love blush, so I have been known to go overboard sometimes. I think I'm gonna stop there because otherwise. Here is the side with the blush, and here's the side without. I feel like it helps to like raise my cheekbone a little bit, bring life to my face, and just kind of, I feel like it ties in the rest of my makeup as well. I'm just gonna apply it to the other side. The shape that I have done is like a straight line upwards on my face. I'm gonna take the Fenty Beauty Silhouette Foil in Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset, and I'm gonna use Mimosa Sunrise and apply it at the top of my cheek, kind of like highlight. I think it looks so nice. And then because I've used like all of these orangey blushes, I'm gonna use like a orangey undertone highlighter as well. I have this little palette from Bella Pierre Cosmetics, and I can't remember where I got this. I think I might have got it in like TK Maxx. I'm just gonna use this color here, this one. I'm just gonna use that on my cheek. Okay, that is us done for today for this blush video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope that you're gonna go and experiment with your blush. If you've never tried blush before, please try it. I feel like it makes a massive difference in your makeup, and it really just helps to like tie it all together. Like I feel like I look alive, and with the blush and the highlight, I just look like. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.